Hello students, I am Sunny sir from Mahdi English School. This video is for class 3 subject English. So let's read today's thought. Look for something positive in each day, even if some days you have to look a little harder. The meaning of this thought is that each and every day may not be good. You have to see that you learn something new every day. You have to learn something new every day. So, doesn't matter even if the day was good or bad, but at least one thing will be positive in that day, and you have to look at that positive thing and forget all those things which have gone wrong. And some days it might be possible that you think that today nothing good happened with me, but you have to still forget everything and be positive. Content of today's video. Lesson number 6, a life for others. That is what we had begun in the previous video. We had learned about the importance of trees, why should we plant trees, and I had told you that why trees are important for all of us. So today we shall continue with the lesson number 6, a life for others. Recap of the previous video. I'll tell you what we have done in the previous video, and then we will read and understand the lesson from the textbook. So let's begin. So in the previous video we had started with this lesson, a life for others. I had told you about the story, that this story is about the 5 cousins. One summer these 5 cousins and this author who is there among these cousins, they all go to grandfather's house in the village, and in the village they saw their grandfather planting saplings. Grandfather was planting the mango and neem saplings around the house, and these cousins asked them the reason for planting these saplings. Grandfather said that I am planting these saplings not for myself, but I am doing it for others, because when these saplings will grow into big trees, I will not be alive to enjoy the fruits, but others will get the fruits of my hard work. Then we had also learnt about the importance of the trees, that trees give us oxygen free of cost. Importance of the trees we have learnt, that trees give us oxygen, they give us fruits, trees give shade to animals, and we can also make furniture with trees. Then importance, we cannot overlook the importance of the trees. Trees are called the lungs of nature, an important part of our life, and it is impossible to imagine our life on planet Earth without trees. And there are different kinds of trees, as we have seen. I had told you to identify 2 types of trees in your surroundings and take a picture. Then I had told you about planting a tree so that you can get oxygen for free. So see that you plant the trees in your surroundings. So now today let's read the lesson and understand the lesson line by line. Read how the narrator learnt the true value of trees and how planting trees helps to make our surroundings better. The narrator means the author. There were 5 cousins, and one of the cousins was the narrator. He learnt the true value of trees. In this lesson, he is telling us that how he learnt the true value of trees, and if you plant trees in your surroundings, it will make the appearance better. It will make your place very beautiful. So let's see what did he learn in this lesson. Every summer, my cousins Manu, Mrina, Maithili, Vignesh and I would go to our village to spend the holidays with our grandparents. Our grandfather owned a number of farms where he would grow wheat and sugar cane. So what is said in this paragraph, that every summer, it was when it was vacation time, the cousins, four cousins were there: Manu, Mrina, Maithili and Vignesh. These were the names of the cousins of this author. And I means the author himself, who is telling us the story. Here are the names of his four cousins. So he said that they went to their grandfather's place, means in the village, to spend the holidays with their grandparents. And what was there with grandfather? What did he own? Grandfather had a number of farms where he would grow wheat and sugar cane. So what did grandfather grow in his farm? Grandfather grew wheat and sugarcane plants in his farms, and his grandfather had a number of farms, means so many farms his grandfather had. And so these cousins enjoyed going to the village during summer vacation, and they played a lot over there. One summer we went there for a long holiday. As usual, we found our grandparents eagerly waiting for us. We rushed and hugged them. So now it is summertime once again. The author is sharing that story with us, that on one summer during the vacations, it was a long holiday for them, and as usual, where did they go? They went to their grandparents in the village, and grandparents were eagerly waiting for them. They were excitedly waiting for their children, and we rushed and hugged them. So what did the children do? As soon as they saw their grandfather and grandmother, they rushed, they ran towards them, and they hugged them. They held them tightly, because they have met their grandparents after a long year of study. So here is the scene which is shown over here. As you can see, how happy the children are as they have reached the grandparents' place in the village. Grandmother and grandfather were eagerly waiting, and as you can see, there are 5 cousins which have come to the village, and it was the summer time. It was a long holiday for these children, and grandparents were eagerly waiting, excitedly waiting for their grandchildren. Then what did they do? Here it is. After a good bath in the pond, we had a hearty meal. While our grandparents went in to take an afternoon nap, we went to the garden to while away our time. Now the author is saying that after taking a good bath in the pond, they all had a good bath in the pond. After that they had hearty meal. What did they do? They had a very nice meal. They had their lunch, and after having lunch, the grandparents, means the grandfather and the grandmother, they went to take a nap. They went for rest, because it was noon time and it was summer heat. So grandparents went to take afternoon nap, and what did the children do? The children went to the garden to pass their time while playing. What did the children do? The children went to the garden. And where did the grandparents go? Grandparents went to take an afternoon nap. What is the meaning of nap? They went to take a short afternoon sleep. So here we complete the first page. What did we learn in the first page? We learned the names of 4 cousins. Which were the 4 cousins? Manu, Mrina, Maithili, Vignesh. Where did they go? They went to the grandparents' place. And where was it? It was in the village. And what did the grandfather own? Grandfather owned number of farms, and in that he grew wheat and sugar cane. So, what happened after they reached there? What was the first thing they did? So, these cousins, they had a good bath in the pond, that is the small water area just like swimming pool. They had a good bath in the pond, and after that they had a hearty meal, very delicious meal they had, and they ate to their heart's content. They ate as much as they wanted, and after that grandparents went for afternoon sleep, and these children went to the garden to pass their time while playing. The garden lining the house was beautiful with mango, guava, papaya, and banana plants on one side and vegetables on other. What was there in the garden? On one side there was beautiful mango, guava, and papaya banana plants, and on the other side what was there? Vegetables were there. And who had grown all these things? Grandfather had grown all these things. Which were the plants that he grew? It was beautiful. The garden lining was beautiful with mango, guava, papaya, and banana plants on one side, and on other side what was there? Vegetables were there on the other side. All this was done and grown up by grandfather. Soon we were exhausted with all the running around, playing games, chatting, and walking about. So the children were playing in the garden. Soon they were exhausted. What is the meaning of exhausted? They were tired. They did not want to play anymore. Means after playing a lot, they were tired. Which exercise did they do? They did running, playing games, chatting means they were talking constantly, and they were walking about. So after doing all these things, finally they were exhausted, they were tired. That night, as always, we slept under the open sky. Where did the children sleep? They did not sleep in the bedroom, but it was a village. It was a village place. They slept under the sky in the open, in the veranda. How people sleep? They keep their bed in the veranda, and what is above them? There is the open sky, like how the village people sleep outside. So same way, the children, they slept under the open sky, not in the room. The stars shone brightly above us, and we felt a cool breeze blowing. So as you know, when you sleep outside, when you don't sleep in the room, but you sleep in your veranda or on the terrace, you can see the stars shining in the sky. How beautiful the scene is. You can see the moon, stars, and the cool breeze blowing will hit your face, and you will get a very peaceful sleep. So all these things, the author, one of the cousins, is describing how they enjoyed over there. What a beautiful night it was, and it was very beautiful night. Author says that he and his cousins, his four cousins, so these total five cousins were there, including author. They all enjoyed a lot over there while sleeping under the open sky, because they could see the stars shining brightly above them, and they could also feel the cool breeze blowing, and it is even more than an air conditioner. It is like natural air conditioner which is there outside, which gives you a peaceful night sleep. Next, the next morning, we found our grandfather up and about and working outside the house. So next morning, when these cousins woke up, what did they see? The grandfather was working outside the house. We asked him what he was doing. So the cousins asked the grandfather, "What are you doing, grandfather?" He said that he was planting mango and neem saplings on the sides of the road. What did the grandfather tell them? The grandfather told them he was planting mango and neem saplings. Saplings are the young plants, the plants when they are small. These are called saplings, as you can see the saplings over here. So grandfather told them, I am planting mango and neem saplings on the sides of the road. He said, means the author, when the saplings grow into trees, they will provide shade for people to sit and rest. So grandfather said to these cousins that when these saplings which he is planting, when these saplings will grow into trees after some years, they will provide shade for the people of the village, and these people can sit under the shade of these mango and neem trees and can take enough rest. Birds, squirrels, and small animals will be able to make their homes in these trees. So he was even thinking about birds and animals. He said that birds, squirrels, and animals they will be able to make their homes, because as you know, birds and squirrels, they live on trees. Birds make their nest, and even squirrel climb the trees where they live. So he said that even birds and squirrels will be able to live on these trees, and animals will be able to take shelter under this tree, and this tree will help all the people in the village. So I am planting mango and neem saplings on the sides of the road. That is what grandfather told these cousins. Then what happened? One of my cousins asked, but grandfather, these trees will take a long time to grow. Of what use will they be to you? So, one of the 5 cousins, the author said he had 4 cousins. From that, one cousin asked the grandfather that, grandfather, why are you planting these mango and neem saplings? Because when these saplings will grow into trees, you will not be there to enjoy the fruits. You will not be there to take the fruits or to sit under the tree and get shelter. You will not be alive at that time. So why are you planting these saplings? Because these mango and neem saplings will take so many years to grow up and become big tree, and till then you will not be there. So for whom are you planting this, and why are you doing this? Then grandfather smiled and answered, I am not planting these trees for myself. They will help everyone in the village. Even if I do not live that long, others will enjoy the fruits of my labor. So, an excellent answer given by the grandfather. Very selfless person he was. What did he say? What did he give the answer when one of the cousins of the author asked the grandfather that you will not be there to enjoy the fruits of the saplings that you are planting? Then why are you doing this? Grandfather replied to him that I am not planting these trees for myself. I am doing this for all the village people, because when these saplings will grow into big trees, then others will get benefit of the hard work that I am doing today. The word labor means the hard work, the physical work, because here as you can see how hard grandfather was working for planting this mango and neem saplings on the sides of the road. So grandfather smiled and answered that others will enjoy the fruits of my labor. Means when these saplings will become trees, at least the village people will remember me, and the village people will get benefit from these trees, also the birds and animals will be able to make their homes. As children, we did not understand what he really meant. So, the author says that what grandfather told them, they did not understand properly as they were young, as they were too young to understand what grandfather was trying to explain. Grandfather was trying to explain them that we should live a life for others, not only for our own benefit. So, the author says that they did not understand what grandfather was trying to explain. Many years later, after my grandfather was no more, we went back to our ancestral home. We found the mango trees he had planted that summer, filled with juicy mangoes. The neem trees had spread their branches far and wide. So, after so many years, the years passed, and after so many years, these cousins visited the village again. And at that time, the grandfather was not alive. But they went to the village to their ancestral home. What is the meaning of ancestral home? Something that belongs to a family for generations. So, which was the ancestral home? Their grandfather's home was their ancestral home because it belonged to their grandparents. So, after years, the grandfather was dead. He was no more. Again, all the 5 cousins went to the village, and what did they see? They saw that mango trees and the neem tree that the grandfather had planted had grown bigger. Now the branches were spread far and wide, means now the trees were grown up. Mango tree was filled with juicy mangoes. And what about neem tree? The branches of the neem tree were spread far and wide. So that is what was the scene they saw when they visited the village after many years. Then what did they see? They gave shelter to many travelers who sat and rested beneath them. We could also hear the chirping of birds and see squirrels running up and down to their homes in the trees. There were a few monkeys too. So, what did the cousins see when they visited the village after so many years? They saw that there were so many travelers who were sitting under the tree. They were taking the rest under the tree. As you can see, 2 travelers are sitting over here. They are resting under the tree. So these are the 5 cousins who have grown up. These were the 5 cousins who were playing the games before so many years. These were the 5 cousins that you had seen so many years back. Now where are the cousins? These are the cousins which have grown up. And after so many years, they saw that this is mango tree which has grown up. It has so many juicy mangoes. The monkeys are climbing the trees and how it is playing. The travelers are resting beneath the tree. They need the shelter, so they are sitting under the tree. Also, what did they see? They saw the squirrel running up and down. Here you can see the image of the squirrel, how the squirrel is running up and down. So when these 5 cousins saw this scene, they understood why the grandfather had planted this mango and neem tree. Today they understood the right meaning after so many years. So here it is given, they gave shelter to many travelers who sat and rested beneath them. Whoever sat and rested beneath the tree gave them shelter. We could also hear the chirping of the birds, and squirrels were running up and down. The birds were chirping. The sound that birds make is called the chirping sound, and they also saw the squirrels running up and down. The tree was home for many birds and animals. And there were also a few monkeys who were playing with the branches of the tree. Since so many trees had been planted over the years, the area had seen a lot of rainfall. So, as I had told you in the previous video, if you plant many trees in your surroundings, you will see that there is a good amount of rainfall in your area because trees attract clouds and clouds bring rain. So, these particular area where the trees were planted, this village had a good amount of rainfall in the past few years. There was a very good rainfall in the village because of the trees that were planted. The surrounding farms had become green and the villagers' happiness knew no bounds. The surrounding was green everywhere. There was greenery because of the tree the grandfather had planted in the surroundings. He had planted so many trees, and because of these trees, the surrounding looked very green. There was greenery everywhere, and the villagers were happy, and they were not able to control their happiness. What is written over here? The villagers' happiness knew no bounds, means it had no limits. They were extremely happy because of the trees that grandfather had planted many years back. As we stood there amidst the trees our grandfather had planted, we fondly remembered him, a noble man who cared so much for well-being of others. So these cousins, they said that as they were standing here amidst the trees, means in the middle of the trees, what did they feel? They remembered their grandfather. They were missing him because now they understood that the grandfather was a noble man. He was a very kind and he was very helpful person who cared so much for the well-being of others. Well-being of others means for doing good things for others. Grandfather took care of all the people of the village, and so he was planting mango and neem saplings on the sides of the roads before so many years when he was alive. And today these five cousins have come back to the village, and they finally understood the reason for planting the trees. It makes your surroundings look beautiful. It also gives shade to the people. It is the homes for birds and animals, and trees give us oxygen. So now these cousins remember their grandfather. He was a noble man. He was a kind-hearted man who cared so much for the well-being of others. So what did we learn in this lesson? This story is about five cousins, and one summer they visit their grandfather's house in a village. The story is the narrator's description of his visit to grandfather's village with his four cousins. Narrator and the four cousins, total 5. During their visit, they saw that grandfather was planting mango and neem saplings on the sides of the road. So one of the cousins asked, "Why are you planting mango and neem saplings?" Grandfather said that I am doing it for others because I will not be there after years, but others will enjoy the fruits of my labor. Many years later, the narrator experienced the truth. All these cousins went to the village and they saw changes in the environment. There was a good rainfall in the village, and also they saw that trees that grandfather had planted was giving shade, shelter to the travelers. The birds, they saw chirping on the trees. They saw beautiful and juicy mangoes that had given by this tree. and they also saw some squirrels running up and down, and the monkeys were playing with the branches of the tree. So finally they understood how important it is to plant the trees and how trees make our place look very beautiful. So please see that you plant the trees and do not cut the trees in your surroundings. Thank you and have a nice day.